Ever wonder what it was like for the first European explorers venturing into the vast, uncharted wilderness of North America? They faced incredible hardships, but their journals reveal something else entirely, something that baffled and terrified them. Imagine being Jacques Marquette, the French Jesuit priest, paddling down the Mississippi River in 1673. He and his fellow explorer, Louis Joliet, were charting new territory, documenting everything they saw. But then they encountered something so bizarre, so monstrous, that it left them speechless. Painted high on a cliff face near modern-day Alton, Illinois, were two enormous creatures. Marquette described them as being as large as a calf, with horns like a deer, dreadful red eyes, a beard like a tiger's, and a face somewhat like a man's. He said their bodies were covered in scales, and their tails were so long they wrapped all the way around their bodies, ending in a fish's tail. The sight was so shocking, he wrote, that even the bravest among them were struck with fear. These were the Piasa birds, a name that in the local Illinois language meant a bird that devours men. The legend, as told to Marquette by the local tribes, was of a creature so powerful it could swoop down and carry off a full-grown deer, or even a person. Was this just a local legend, a scary story painted on a rock, or was it a warning about something real that lurked in the skies? Marquette's encounter wasn't an isolated incident, as more explorers, traders, and settlers pushed westward. Strange stories began to surface in their journals and letters. These weren't just tales of unfamiliar animals like bison or grizzly bears. These were accounts of birds of impossible size. We're talking about birds with wingspans so vast they were said to block out the sun, casting massive, fleeting shadows over the landscape. In the 18th and 19th centuries, numerous reports from the American West describe sightings of gigantic, eagle-like birds. One of the most famous accounts comes from the journals of Meriwether Lewis and William Clark during their legendary expedition from 1804 to 1806. While they meticulously documented hundreds of new species of plants and animals, there are intriguing passages that hint at something more. They recorded tales from Native American tribes, like this Sioux, about a massive bird of prey that was so large and powerful it could hunt bison. The tribes held this creature in both reverence and fear. They called it Wakinyantanka, the Great Thunderbird. This wasn't just a bird, it was a sacred, supernatural being. So what were these people seeing? Were these just exaggerated tales of large, but known birds like the California condor, which itself has an impressive wingspan of nearly 10 feet? Or was there something else in the skies of ancient America? The consistency of these reports is fascinating. From different regions, different eras, and different cultures, the descriptions share uncanny similarities. The creature was always a bird of immense size, often dark in color, with a powerful beak and sharp talons. But there's another, even stranger element that ties these sightings together: the weather. Almost invariably, sightings of these colossal birds were accompanied by storms. Native American legends are very specific about this. The Thunderbird wasn't just a giant bird, it was a bringer of storms. They believed the flapping of its enormous wings created the sound of thunder, and the flashing of its eyes produced lightning. For them, a thunderstorm wasn't a meteorological event. It was the Thunderbird flying through the heavens, waging war against the malevolent spirits of the underworld. When explorers witnessed a massive, dark shape soaring against the backdrop of a gathering storm, it's easy to see how these two phenomena became linked in their minds. Fear and fascination went hand in hand. Imagine being a pioneer on the Oregon Trail. You're already on edge, traveling through a land that is beautiful but also dangerous and unknown. Then, dark clouds gather on the horizon. A storm is coming. As the sky darkens, you see it, a winged silhouette, larger than any bird you've ever seen, soaring effortlessly against the turbulent clouds. A low rumble echoes across the plains. Is it thunder or the beat of those colossal wings? In that moment, the line between reality and myth would blur completely. You wouldn't be thinking about condors or eagles. You'd be thinking about monsters. You'd be thinking about the stories you heard from the local tribes. Warnings whispered around the campfire about a great sky beast that commands the weather. This sense of awe and terror is a common thread in the historical accounts. These weren't just sightings, they were profound, often frightening experiences that left a lasting impression. Settlers would write home about the Thunderbirds, adopting the native term because no other word seemed to fit the sheer scale and power of what they had witnessed. They were seeing something that didn't belong in their world, something that seemed to step directly out of myth and into reality. When these early explorers and settlers shared their stories with the local Native American tribes, they didn't meet with skepticism or disbelief. Instead, they found confirmation. For countless generations, these tribes had lived with the reality of the Thunderbird. It was woven into the very fabric of their culture, their spirituality, and their art. From the Pacific Northwest to the Great Plains, to the eastern woodlands, the Thunderbird was a powerful and recurring figure. The Kwakwak people of British Columbia carved magnificent totem poles with the Thunderbird at the very top, a symbol of ultimate power and prestige. For the Lakota Sioux, the Thunderbird was one of the most powerful spirit beings, a protector of the people who cleansed the world of evil. The Ojibwa people told stories of the Thunderbird battling underwater panthers, a constant struggle between the sky and the water, good and evil. So, when a settler described seeing a giant bird followed by a thunderstorm, the tribal elders would simply nod. They weren't hearing a tall tale. They were hearing a confirmation of their own ancient truths. This shared experience created a strange bridge between two vastly different cultures. A moment where the folklore of one world seemed to manifest as a terrifying reality for the other. So what are we to make of all this? Is the Thunderbird just a myth, a powerful symbol of nature's fury, personified as a great bird? Or could these widespread, consistent stories be rooted in a genuine, historical creature? Some researchers have proposed that the Thunderbird legend might be a cultural memory of a real, now extinct giant bird. Perhaps the Terratons, a group of massive prehistoric birds of prey that lived in North America during the Pleistocene epoch. The largest of these, Argentaphis magnificens, had an estimated wingspan of up to 23 feet. That's the size of a small airplane. While they were thought to have gone extinct around 10,000 years ago, it's tantalizing to think that perhaps some isolated populations survived into more recent times, giving rise to the legends. Maybe early humans witnessed these incredible creatures and passed the stories down through thousands of generations. The memory kept alive in myth and art. This is where history and myth become so deeply intertwined that it's impossible to separate them. The Thunderbird could be a symbol, a memory, and a misidentification all at once. What we do know is that, for the people who saw it, whether they were Native American hunters or European explorers, the experience was profoundly real. It was a moment when the mundane world gave way to the magnificent and the terrifying, leaving them with a story that would echo through the ages. The Thunderbird remains one of the most enduring and fascinating mysteries of the American continent, a legend with wings, soaring at the very edge of history and imagination. Thank you so much for watching. What do you think the Thunderbird was? Let me know your theories in the comments below. If you enjoyed this journey into the unknown, please hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into history's greatest mysteries. We'll see you in the next video.